Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody across the world joining us on both platforms, whether you're on Facebook, Twitch, or of course on the new platform Mixer. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us tonight for the HCS European Pro League. My name is Sims, and we have just seen two fantastic series. The first one went all the way down to the wire in a best of 7. The second one, well, a few memes were made, let's be honest. It was a fun match to watch indeed, as Supremacy, they showed their French compadres, Divine Domination, just how it's done. Joining me on this wonderful desk again, I have my partner in crime, Mr. Harry C. Brother, we've seen some good games, so that were a bit high.
Yeah.
Sorry.
God, I'm a delicate flower.
I know, I don't mean to hit you. I'll tab it there. There you go.
At least buy me dinner first.
Enjoy. Right, so next matchup, we've got a biggie. We've got the big one of the night. We said the very best till last. Invictus taking on Team Supremacy. We've seen some amazing action tonight. All the teams have played
Infused.
Incredible.
Infused, not Supremacy.
Excuse me?
You said Supremacy.
Can't just
Infused.
let it go.
No,
I know what I've said.
No.
Just don't pull me up on stream again.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Team Infused taking on Invictus. Now, this is going to be an awesome matchup, we said before. Personally for you, is this the battle of first place?
Yes. Yeah, I think it is. Both these two teams currently sitting at the top of the league after week 1. 1-0 for both these teams. This is the battle of the top two teams in Europe, and wouldn't be surprised to see these two teams at the top of the leaderboard, the top of the rankings, the top of the standings at the end of the season. Because these two are the strongest in Europe right now, in my opinion. You look across the board at the players on these teams. You look at the likes of Kimbo, who's been there and won the Summer Pro League with Fabi. You look at Jimbo, Snipe Drone, they've been to Worlds, international experience, they've got tournaments. You've got Ramirez, who has a grocery list of tournament wins in previous Halos. You've got Quadios, who's some new blood. You've got Snakey, who's been there, done that in previous titles as well. It's just... everything about this screams mammoth matchup, and this is an amazing matchup because, like we said, you only play each team once this season. This is your biggest rivals you're going up against in week number 2. Well,
you've seen them for the last 2 series, so let's just show you them very quickly again. This, of course, is your week number 2 best of 7 series layout. Collie CTF, Regret TS, The Rig, Strongholds, Truth, CTF, Plaza Slayer, Eden Strongholds, and then finally the Rig Slayer to close it out. Do we need all 7 maps? More than likely. There is so much potential. Honestly, between these two teams, as Harry mentioned, this is your top 2. We will be deciding who's going to be first in the league out of these 2 matchups. Please, 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 whoever you are in the world, wherever you are watching, I don't care. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Stick it in your Tinder profile if that's the kind of thing you're into.
I've done that.
He's done that. He always does that. I mean, you should see his
Super
profile.
likes for days.
Yep, every single time. And I don't care where you are. Just share it out. We're going to have a really big matchup. And once again, there is no North American Pro League after this. They're on their roster period at this moment, so that you've got to deal with us for tonight.
Sorry.
We do apologise. I want to see the lovely Elamite and T2 just as much as you guys. But they'll be back next week. After the team changes, it's going to be amazing.
Budget Elamite, budget T2. Is that a thing?
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I don't mind being
budget Elamite. Budget T squared, I think, is a bit harsh.
You can't. So not only have you thrown some of the players under the
listen, Big Daddy T squared's the best around. Don't
start kissing his ass now. You've called yourself a budget one.
Okay.
You can't do that to the man.
Seriously though. Those guys are killing it in America.
I mean, we've kind of said this, without a doubt, the 2 best casters in Hill at the moment. The straight rip and combo, it just works, man. They bounce off each other so well.
They remind me, honestly, of when you watch American sports. If you've ever watched American football, I know you're not particularly into sports, but you can hear...
Wow.
Did I say that?
Wow.
Did I say that, stream? Did I say that? But when you watch American sports, the announcers have that certain cadence, they have that certain voice, and they just bounce off each other, like you said perfectly. They remind me of those kind of American sports announcers. I can't watch the North American Pro League the same way if they're not casting. It's just not the same for me.
They're incredible, and we'll see them again next week, along with some of the potential new teams. We've seen a roster change already on the side of running. Will we see any more? Find out next time on HCS. But never mind. It's time for game number 1. This is our 3rd and final series of the evening. Infused taking on Invictus. Capture the flag on Coliseum. Harry, this is it. This is the big boy.
So I've been told by a certain member of Invictus to start off with his point of view for first blood ground pounds. So let's see if it comes off. I mean, this man apparently has some super secret starting strats that seem to work out every time. And here we go. He's going to tee up for it. Doesn't actually go for it in the end. So
he didn't get his kill.
He didn't.
We'll wait to see what he does.
Helped him out. But what I'm saying was Jimbo said, hey, if you want to see a first blood ground pound, I'll give it to you. But instead, he's going to play it properly. I don't know why he's doing this. I mean, no one wants to see this. But both flags on the move early on. And despite Batchford having the rockets, it looks like Invictus have the flag further along the map. In fact, I'm completely mistaken. It was Snaky to run the flag, I do believe. But both power weapons now in the hands of Invictus, and Quad is going to be the key player because if Invictus moved this flag a little too quickly into their base, they would be in for a tough time. But like you said, Jimbo, definitely a key kill to make right there, because if Quad escapes unscathed, then he's a big thorn in the side. But check it out, Snipe Drone with a sniper, and he's being very aggressive. Can
we just appreciate, though, the amount of... It wasn't necessarily a bait and switch, but working as a team and working as a duo to force the flag guy off of elbow out into the open so that Snipe Drone could clear that one up. So great teamwork out there, unfortunately, didn't pay off. Instead, he gave Kimbo the sniper, and he only used one bullet in doing so as well, so that's a big power weapon to hand over to Infused.
Yeah, what I just remembered as well...
Excuse me?
How does he make that kill happen?
I have no idea.
This matchup is not only the matchup of the top two teams, but also Kimbo versus Snipe Drone in the sniping department. So we'll see which two of those players can put on the better show here on Coliseum. Perfect game one for these two teams, in my opinion, as they just go head-to-head in an arena full of power weapons.
We like to talk about stories as well. Remember, Kimbo's playing off against Jimbo. Jimbo got Kimbo voted off of Fabi. There's still variational stories that are going on with these players, and it's kind of the same in America when we look at all the different storylines that unfold, but there's certainly a little bit of a grudge match here. We kind of mentioned swapping the K for a J. Who's going to be the better player today? And as I'm doing some really crappy puns, Cristola is just cracking skulls.
Yeah, I like the pun, though.
Yeah?
I mean, you tried. There was an attempt.
There was an attempt.
That's fine. First kill going in favor of Invictus. That's going to be the spring right now for Cristola to push in and almost connect with the dome. I like the decision, though. Sometimes when you don't hit that first shot, you almost want to make up for it and be really greedy and go for that second shot as well. Cristola, recognizing the situation, says, hey, I'm just going to maintain some map control right here, and if he gets at least one of these kills, that would have been a good result. But it looks like momentum just swinging in favor for now, in favor of Infused. But look at the man picking up the rockets and making the kills happen. It's going to be Ramirez. We saw him last week against Supremacy put on countless plays. Honestly, plays that helped his team win the game on this map. So really nice stuff from Ramirez so far in this game.
How long is this flag standoff going to last? This is madness, but it, more than anything, Harry, it kind of speaks volumes to how closely matched these two teams are.
Jimbo, take my bimbo.
Quad, where's your face? Where is your face? It just got trashed, my friend. And he's going to finish off Snaky as well, so he'll tag up that flag and allow his teammates to then, you know, there's a fresh sniper rifle on the pitch. Jim's just going to watch this one with open eyes, try and get a kill off there. One person's going to go outside. Nice time to turn off the player outline, so you don't know where they're going to be coming from. Will touch the flag again, then opts to look back at the sniper rifle. Don't know how he hit that quad once again. Where's your face, brother? He is down. Jim is just punishing him. Absolutely punishing him. Another bullet comes flying past Snaky's face like something out of the Matrix.
Infused really under pressure right here. They're doing a good job of pressuring Snipe Drone, but Snipe Drone still makes a kill happen right there. I'm really worried for this Infused score at the moment, because right now it's Invictus with the majority of control, and as a result they're getting power weapons, and we've seen Jimbo hit some really nice snipes. Now he's got himself a rocket launcher to play with, as well as Cristola ahead of him. Cristola going down right there means Jimbo is actually going to transition those rockets over towards the sniper tower, just try and fortify that position, and now he's going to move in. This is really sneaky stuff here from Jimbo, and if he gets these two kills, does he spot the player in the cubby as well? He gets the return, actually! They allow him to get the return. That's madness. Where is Ramirez with the flag, though? Can he put it in?
Yes, he can.
That is a flag-winning play there from Jimbo. You don't need the kills. If they're giving you the return, just grab it, man. Perfect. 1-0.
We're in for such an incredible series. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, you are in for a treat. The two best teams in Europe right now going head-to-head. trying to chase that top spot in the European Pro League. Kimbo takes 2. Remember, we saw a little bit of banter with these two teams last week. Obviously, Infused entering the AM tournament. Jim were kind of questioning it, and there was some choice words said on social media. So a bit of a grudge match going down right now on screen. Quad answers back. He took 2 to the brain last time from Jimbo. Now we're all tied up, 1 apiece.
I'm so happy right now. This is just such a juicy series. This is the perfect start. And with the 6-minute mark coming up soon, watch for both teams to try and battle for supremacy at both the Sniper Tower and the Rocket Tower. Look at the members down for Invictus though. Infused are on the warpath. They are rolling right now. 3 members all spawning and bunched up means they're going to be pretty difficult slays to get, but they're getting them anyway. Ramirez staying alive right there could be vital going forwards, but 20 seconds until the Rockets and Snipe come on the map, that could definitely change the game in either team's favor. I believe it's going to be Snaky at top Rockets, so Quad right here just needs to make sure he's putting pressure on the Invictus players like Snipe Drone, who's pushing the Sniper Tower to ensure they grab those power weapons.
Batchford just hanging out on elbows. Teammate Snaky will run towards him, but as he does that, he's dead, unfortunately, between a rock and a hard player. Snaky's got nowhere to go. He's got 2 below, 1 behind as well. Quad's still there, though. Quad's staying alive in this cave for so long, throws the flag out, and now he opts to kind of rotate behind them, Harry.
Yeah, you say he was staying alive. He actually blocked those cave spawns, which allowed Invictus members to spawn on that flag player. Those it's working out for them at the moment as they're rallying this flag back, but yeah, I'm not sure about that from Quad, but the flag is back in the base. Snipe Drone can kill this player, and it's pretty much all going to be on Snipe Drone to try and get the recov. Batchford with the Rockets will make a massive play to kill him before he gets the return, and here we go.
Oh, he jumps it in backwards!
Just about gets it. Good job from Kimbo.
Oh my god, literally Kimbo sits on it, gets the return, thrusts backwards, picks the flag up mid-air, and puts the flag in backwards. What a play.
Nice moves.
What an absolute beast of a play. Literally, if he wouldn't have hit that platform or that pillar or any other angle, for instance, he would have clipped it and he wouldn't have got that, and they would have got the return. Instead, Infused, they're now in the lead 2-1.
Yeah, and they're behind the Invictus squad pulling this flag. There is Jimbo at Sniper Tower, who is no shield, so if Jimbo goes down, keep an eye on the kill feed. That's the flag run, dead. Kimbo will actually tag Snipe Drone there with the snipe, but Jimbo actually grabbed the return, so good job from Jimbo, winning his fight, staying alive after, and also making sure that flag is returned. So I actually want to reward Jimbo with a little bit of POV switching right here. Let's see his point of view for a little while with that flag-saving standoff at Sniper Tower right there.
Lovely grenade as his one teammate does tag up that player coming straight off the elbow. Now he's going to run into his base. He's looking for teammates and support. Harry will go into third person. We see where this one player is. That's going to be Batchford just hanging on the elbow corner. We saw on the player outlines. He needs to be careful, though, because there is one more player that is coming up behind him from that sniper side. Batchford just gets the hell out of there, gets the opposing side of the base and starts telling his teammates, kill, 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 boys. I'm already here to deliver. But Kimbo, stupid aggression coming out of this man right now. Dives on into the base, jumps up on the window. His teammates there to tag it up. They've got the return. Infused take game number 1, 3-1. What an absolute treat to start this best of 7 series.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
Okay.
This is fun.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
That was great. That was amazing. Something we didn't really see too much of was Snaky's point of view. He actually got a double that sparked that return at the end. Amazing play. Amazing play from Snaky. He really won his team that game essentially by getting that double to springboard all 3 of the Infused members into the base. Batchford eventually sticks the flag in. Kimbo with a big slaying performance from that game, 20 and 14, but I actually want to check out the damage dealt from Quad and Snaky because they were definitely up there, yeah, hanging with Kimbo despite the lack of kills. So, alright, okay, game number 1 goes to Infused. Invictus, probably the best team in Europe. Infused have something to say about that so far in this series. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. That was just game number 1.
Spicy.
Spicy.
Very spicy indeed. And this is what we kind of said, guys. You are in for a treat. If you're watching from home, make sure you tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. If you got any thoughts on this game, guys, we'd love to hear it. Tweet at ESL Halo. Who do you think is going to be taking this series? Any players in particular you're going to be wanting to watch out for? Remember, this is pretty much for us. It's 5 weeks in all, 4 weeks remain, including this one. It's the road to Atlanta, baby. There's only 4 teams can make it there to that champ bracket at DreamHack. 2 of them will not be joining them, unfortunately. Every game matters. Every single map matters. Everything's on the line for these teams. And we kind of said, that top 3 area, kind of a little bit locked. The fourth one, I think, is kind of... I want to say it's open for grabs. Anyone can kind of take a bite at the moment, though. These top 3 places, when you're looking at the lads, when you're looking... Well, I'm saying that. Lads got pushed to a Game 7. Anything can happen. But certainly with these 2 teams, Harry, the battle for number 1.
Yes. That is essentially what this series is. And to have this so early on in a season, it might make people think that this series really doesn't matter. But honestly, this could... if you think about it, be the final... just imagine this is the final game of the season, because that's pretty much what this is. This could be the series that defines first place in this league. Remember, every team only plays each other once. They don't play each other twice like last season. You only get one bite of the cherry, so every single series is so important, and these 2, as arguably the 2 top teams in the league playing against each other this early, this matchup is probably the most important of the season for both these 2 teams. Regret Slayer coming up next. And honestly, it's anyone's game. I almost want to throw statistics out of the window for this series and just call it by ear, as both teams just vying for supremacy in this series and at the top of the league standings.
Batchford will try and fly in for that OS. Unfortunately, he's completely shut down as 2 members of Invictus are just waiting for him with open arms. Cristela's going to bag the first OS of this game. Kimbo goes flying up over Archway. Down he comes. He's also got the Plasma... Is he going to get that kill? No, he's not. Green gun in hand, looking for that player. And he's going to break the barrel. So, yeah. Barrel MVP once again. Cristela's going to drop down. We're going to have 1, 2, 3 players of Infused. They're all trapped inside that base. Batch was going to start to make the push at least, but the aggression coming out of Cristela here, Harry, they just want to pin him in and kill him. Yeah, that's what they want to do, and that's kind of the name of the game on Regret Slayer. Pin the enemy team in the base and make sure they can't get out and get kills as a reward of having that top control. But something Infused are doing very well so far is, as Batchford just did, is getting out of the base early. When the other team is kind of trapping your teammates in the other base, you want to try and sneak up behind them if you get given that respawn early on in the other base. That's what Batchford did. He ran out bridge, and now look, Infused, they've tied the game up despite not grabbing the first overshield. That kill is really nice from Batchford. Despite being shots down in the fight, he still gets the kill on Snipe Drone. That's going to give him masses of confidence going forward. Fade away as well, but he does drop down. Still almost a tie game, 9-8, 130 into this second map. Kimbo just going to get his shields back. Batchford at least comes in with the assist to take out Jimbo there. Kimbo gets the reload as well with the BR. Ramirez unfortunately just fires a blank on that plasma pistol, but he's going to be no shields. No one's there to unfortunately clean that kill up. It should have been an easy assist. Doesn't realize the player's coming around the corner. One-on-one battle. Unfortunately, Ramirez will win that one out, especially when there's so many shots down from previous. Ramirez will take that BR, unfortunately, Harry. He won't make use of it. One player there, though, going to pick up the carbine. So he's got both rifles in hands. It's going to be quad. Yeah, good kills from him because the overshield's coming up. However, despite the kills from quad, the overshield goes into the hands of Snipe Drones. So Invictus getting both overshields so far. It was Cristela to grab the first one, and the next one's just gone into the hands of this man right here, Snipe Drone. So watch for Snipe Drone now to try and be a little bit more aggressive on these bases, right? Try and fly in a little bit. Fair enough, he's only got a little bit of overshield left, but with a shot like Snipe Drone, honestly, that should be all he needs to guarantee a win in every single fight. So look for Snipe Drone to play a little bit more confidently with that overshield, but he was just kind of almost baited by that player who took his overshield down and then back down. So very nice play from the Infused player right there to just nullify the overshield from Snipe Drone. Clawing a few kills back, but unfortunately the same thing happens for Team Infused. They get 3 kills. Look at all those red X's over on the side of Invictus. They're pretty much all dead, but Ramirez stuck inside the respawn screen. Here we go. All 4 members will come off, and they're all inside blue base. In fact, I tell a lie, Ramirez is still on his own across the map. Unfortunately, cannot stay alive. Snaky and his teammates, they will just push him into a corner. It's going to be an easy kill for them. And as I mentioned before, you kind of said, Harry, top middle control is quite important on this map because then you can watch where they're spawning from and just really pin them into a corner. That's kind of what's happening now. Yeah, it is what's happening right now. Quad is playing really, really well in this game, but I want to swap over to Snaky, the team captain from Infused, because we never really see too much POV out of this man, and I personally am very sorry for that, because
Snakey is one of those players, probably one of the most underrated players in the pro scene in Europe, honestly. This man has been at the top since the start of Halo 5, pretty much. I mean, you think back to the Invitational at Gamescom when he was on Esports, if you think about it. Even still back then, he was putting up big numbers and making big plays. So we'll try to see a little bit more out of the team captain from Infused in this series. But as we're speaking, though, check out this scoreline. 32-18 from Infused, despite not grabbing any of the overshields so far on Regret Slayer. This from Invictus. This is just a demolishing performance. That's ridiculous.
Batchford comes in with, God, here we go.
This is happening.
This is going to be brutal. And honestly, you know, this is kind of what I mentioned, Harry. There was a few choice words thrown around on social media last week, and you know, they want revenge. They want to prove why they're the best team in Europe now. They want to prove why people were running their mouth, and at the end of the day, you've got to step up to the plate if you're going to say something. And at the moment, it's just Infused. They're completely running away with this game. This is game 2. Top 2 teams in Europe, and I can smell really well done steak. And
Infused can smell blood, because, I mean, they just don't seem to be playing with any fear right now. This Infused squad, like,
How do you get out of that?
How does he get out of that? Fair enough, Snipe Drone cleans him up, but those are shots that Ramirez really should be hitting, and those are shots that the Infused squad are hitting, right? You think back to that Batchford noob combo on Snipe Drone, the reversal. Like, it's just, again, just a few shots that need to be tweaked from the boys on Invictus that are really letting them down so far in this game. 28-41, fair enough, they're clawing this back slowly but surely. But you have to ask, is the damage done so far in this game?
Yeah, I think it's not just the damage of the scoreboard, but it's certainly going to be the damage of your composure. You know, this is where you're going to be starting to worry, because you're already down one map in the series, and at the moment, well, Invictus, they're certainly looking at being 2-0 down in the next few minutes if they don't pull things back. But they are doing, as you mentioned, Harry, slowly but surely. They're pulling kill back for kill. 6 minutes remaining, so if they slow this one down and just kind of really get their act together and start working as a team, they might just be able to do it. But Infused, they're having none of this. They want to seal the deal on this one and take the series 2-0 and roll on into game number 3. And honestly, they only need 5 more to do that. Pressure West will pop. Ramirez is going to grab that and bag it. So let's see what he can do with it.
Dead.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He's dead. I was watching his observer mode player card, and I watched that overshield go from overshield to half overshield to no overshield to no shields to dead. And it was all because of Kimbo's plasma caster play. Fantastic. Yeah, this game is over. Infused have won this, and that's going to be 2-0 to them. Honestly, I don't think anyone in Europe really expected this. I mean, a few players I've kind of spoken to, I asked for their predictions about this series, because this is the one I really couldn't call, honestly, between these top 2 teams. They said if Infused can grab the first game of this series, they can really roll from there. And I think even Snipe Drone realizes this game is over. And 50-39, Infused taking the first 2 games of this series.
To beat him.
A lot of people's predictions are coming true. If Infused take these first couple of game types, they could roll from there.
We won't repeat the words that he used on stream yesterday, because we probably lose our jobs. However, you actually asked Brandon when you were playing with him yesterday, who do you think this one? And he basically says, well, if Infused don't, you know, start whinging and start moaning and really keep... Oh.
Quad got a frenzy. Okay.
Hi, Quad.
You're right, mate.
We see you, Kia.
Yeah. All right. We'll give you a little bit more POV, I guess.
But, you know, he kind of... You spoke, to Brandon yesterday, and he was saying if they don't start crying and moaning and whinging at each other, they've got a really... I'm putting that in a nice way compared to what you actually put it. They've got a good chance of winning this series, and honestly, looking like that is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, they were rolling. They were really rolling in that game, and I worried for Invictus going to the next game type rig Strongholds.
It feels really disciplined compared to Invictus. You look at some of the players that they're doing, like staying alive, for instance, and just working with the buddy system and then pushing somebody in. Like, for instance, we saw another one where, you know, you had Batchford being an anchor, pushing people inside the base, but actually forcing them out the other end. And you've just got Snakey over on the top of the hill like, hey, it's all right, boys, send them my way. Keep them coming.
One thing I actually just want to check quickly about, Snakey only had 8 assists that game, but we spoke about him mid-game as one of those players who's been at the top of Halo 5. Snakey almost always is at the top of the charts in terms of assists per game. I don't know how he does it. He's just always has that kind of Halo 3 mentality of just shoot everything, and that's what I love out of a player.
Ask questions later.
You're getting shot, and Snakey's putting damage down.
Does that go on his damage done when you look at his damage done? Obviously, we started this up so we can bring you at least these stats on there.
Yeah, I mean, you think about
second highest.
Yeah,
on the...
he had 3 kills less than Quad, and he was about 100 damage behind. Not even that, 50 damage behind. So,
and this is just a player who's just tanking people up, making people weak, just constantly drilling them. And the one thing I have to say about Snake, and I played him a few times, his communication and his kind of leadership, it's there.
Yeah,
He's on top. When you listen to communication, he knows where people are going. He's giving out the precise call-outs, where people are, where they're going, saying the names, saying what they're doing, and that's what you look for when you look, when you're looking for a captain, you're looking for a leader, someone who can be that vocal point. And the rest of the team, they're just they're following in line, to be honest with you, and it seems to be working. We're going to go into game number 3 in just a second. One of the players has just nipped away by the looks of it.
If you're wondering who it is, it's Cristola, probably unplugging his fridge to get that extra gig of internet, funnel all the power he possibly can into his router.
How many fridges run off the internet?
You not seen these smart fridges these days? Never ordered pizza?
Oh, are these those that order food for you?
Ordered a pizza off your fridge?
I'm sorry, I know you might come from an upper class family, Harry, with a fridge that orders you food.
Down here in Southampton, yeah.
Yeah.
On my gap year.
Yeah. What?
On my gap year, yeah.
Anyway, so game number 3 will be the Recon Strongholds. And honestly, who can call this one at the moment? It looks like this ball game is well and truly in the court of Team Infused, but anything can happen as we roll on into this 3rd matchup. Any initial predictions from yourself? Is there any kind of saving grace here?
Yeah, so my thoughts on this one, we've seen in the past on Strongholds on the Break, a very strong slaying performance can carry you through some poor decision making on this map, and so far this series, Infused have been winning the slaying. The good thing for Invictus is they have one of the best shot callers left in the league, one of the best in-game leaders in Ramirez. So if Ramirez reads the game as he should, as he has proven to in the past, and makes the calls for his team, and his team trusts them and listens to them and follows them through, then they certainly have a chance. But once again, it's this strong slaying we were talking about from Cordios. Double from him, the railgun comes in, and, well, it's just Infused picking up where they left off. They're going to start scoring instantly.
Power weapons in the bag. Let's see what kind of damage they can do. We'll see Quad just checking his corners. As you mentioned, Harry, P's and Q's, making sure no one's down there. Forces one out. He'll flood him as well, so he can make him appear on the radar, so at least gives away his position. 2 members will be dropping into Whitehall from Invictus. Ramirez, though, once again caught off guard. That's a banging grenade. Just banks it off. And a second one. Dumps it on his head, quite literally. Almost gets the 2nd kill. Quad at the moment, as you mentioned, we kind of left him a little bit under the radar, no pun intended there whatsoever, but absolutely out of nowhere, the wild killing frenzy, and he's looking to kind of see this one through. Quad, obviously, we have to remember, back at the Halo World Championship, especially with the Wembley qualifier, he was teaming with Snipe Drone. He was teaming with members of Invictus.
Yeah, so Quad definitely has the experience of teaming with top players, so he's not come out completely out of left field and out of nowhere. Yeah, it's just honestly, we highlighted him last week as probably one of the best players on this Infused squad, and he's proving it yet again this week. I mean, the killing frenzy in a Slayer, that's pretty hard to do, especially on an arena map like Regret in the last game. So, yeah. Quad definitely showing up here in the Pro League, especially against the best team in the league. That really kind of legitimizes his place on this Infused squad, because we've seen, the rest of the players on this squad be at the top for quite some time. Quad's kind of a new face, so him getting that frenzy against Invictus, who are a lot of people's favorites to win the Pro League regular season, is going to do him wonders in terms of confidence.
Yep, indeed. I'm just looking at this to see where people are kind of coming off of the respawn. Unfortunately for Invictus, Harry, they've left the basement open. Excuse me, not the basement, the BR base, because that's exactly where Infused are going to be respawning and dropping down into it. As I say that, they finally do, but off of the back of the respawn, they didn't go for it. They pushed out first. They headed on over to basement. Snipe Drone's trying to get... Oh, he goes... Gets the kill at least. Doesn't get the assassination, but does get the double beat down onto the camo guy. He will fall, and now Jimbo's allowed to advance forward, picks off one. There's Snakey. Just takes him down easily with that railgun. Now he's going to eye up across the board. And I'll tell you what, things are looking a little bit better, I want to say.
They are definitely looking better here for Invictus. They've kind of steadied the ship after the last game, losing that and losing game number 1 when no one really kind of expected them to. Yeah, the ship's been steady. Now it's up to Kimbo here with this railgun to make sure he's getting his +1s for his team. That really won't help out, honestly. And Ramirez escaping with his life right there could really come back to bite them because, okay, Ramirez not looking in Kimbo's direction, but he's got Snipe Drone for help there as bait as well. So, yeah, I mean, that missed railgun from Kimbo, if he makes that kill happen and he's got a one-on-one with Snipe Drone in Whitehall, they have a bit more map control. Instead, now it's Invictus with Slays. You can see they also have control if they take the basement away from Infused, which they more than likely will thanks to those Slays, although Snaky comes in and replies. If they do take this basement away, they're going to have the nest and the basement, which is definitely a favourable Stronghold setup, but more importantly, they've had this nest for an extended period of time.
Sorry to break you off, Harry. The one person I want to kind of call out there was Ramirez. The rotation of moving away from BR base, where he was, round to basement. He was going to go for it initially, just says, nope, not today. Killed one, killed the second one on the stairs, and then essentially forced the third one out of the base completely. So, fantastic play from Ramirez.
Dude, Kimbo is just ninjaing people,
Yep.
whether he means to or not. I mean, yeah, that boy's movement at the moment is pretty scary.
So barrels will be blown. Batchford is going to try and get himself pitched up in this corner. He's got the camo as well, so he cannot be seen. And when you're doing things like that, you certainly don't want to be seen. Easy kill for him. Aims down into White, takes out one basement, gets transferred back into Team Infused hands as well. Snaky is there. Kind of like dug down in a bunker. He's obviously got that little bit of a billboard there for defensive side as well. Will he get Cristola? Yes, he will. Gets the second as well. And I tell you what, getting that second, don't get me wrong, Harry, it's massive, but it speaks volumes to what his teammates are doing around the map to allow him just for a player to run at him with no shield.
Yeah, I actually wonder whether or not it was the railgun splash damage that took that player's shields down, and this is kind of what we were talking about, the slaying performance here from Infused, getting them back in the game. They'll get the reset on Nest, which was almost taken from Invictus, and if they can make a stand on BR base right here, with Snaky's perfect shots backing them up, if they can get the reset on BR base, it's currently being contested, but that will go to Invictus. They're right back in this game. They were down by a load. That scatter shot coming into play again. Snaky is a man possessed so far on the rig, and the team captain definitely stepping up in a mammoth matchup when his team needed to. Don't worry, he knows where the map is.
He knows what's going on.
Don't worry, the floor might be lava, but he's... You've seen that meme lately, by the way? That's the new craze.
Is that the new one?
It's coming back, yeah.
Speaking of coming back, Snipe Drone comes back himself through midair. Ground Pound Town comes in, gets a second one as well. Another melee for him. And now Basement, can he get this back? Because at the moment, as we look across the map, it's Invictus who are picking up the plots. And Invictus might be flipping this triple cap into the triple cap of their own. His teammates, well, they're in a good position to spawn. They're spawning on that back BR, so he's got support over at Basement. Now they'll look to Infuse to go straight for BR base off spawn, which they have done from back bunker. What will they work on though, Harry? Are they here we go. Are they going to be working on Nest, or are they going to be looking at Basement?
I think Nest is probably the one that Invictus want at the moment. I mean, they've grabbed it, but Infused, they need to... It looks like they're going for Basement first. You can see the 3 players coming in, and that helps them out massively, because now they had that basement kind of stronghold. It allows Snaky to spawn right there, and now he can push to Nest and capture it himself.
So I want to just point something out here. We obviously had 3 members of Infused. They all literally, I like to call it, dogpiled into Basement. Not one single player, even though they had Nest control, did Invictus. Not a single member of Invictus came across to Nest, Harry, to even just check it, let alone give it some defense, which allowed Snaky just to tag it up rather easily.
Yeah, the same thing has kind of happened though. Despite Infused having that control over at Nest, they weren't able to contest the 2 players that jumped in and grabbed that one. So yeah, Infused, they're currently winning at the moment. by 6 or 7 points, but this one really could just flip on a switch at any moment. The deciding factor so far in this game for me has been that camouflage. We saw Snaky with the last one, so when it comes up in around 30 or maybe 40 seconds time, look for Snaky and Infused to set up around that, because they know the timing on it. If that even comes into fruition, if that even comes into play, because right now Infused, they're only 8 points away from winning this game and going 3-0 up versus Invictus.
This is insane. And I think me and you just sit back and watch the magic happen. Kimbo gets an easy double, needs to be careful of this guy up. Oh, that grenade's actually going to do damage as well.
That's game.
That is game, set, not quite the match, but it's closing in on it.
Ground pound off the map, Kim. Go on, there you go. The floor is lava.
Quite it is there, actually,
so's the
to be fair.
volcano.
Yeah. 100 to 180 then, mate. I mean, we're going quite quiet, because honestly, it's a little bit for us as well to watch this all unfold. I didn't expect to see a 3-0 at this point anyway. I was expecting a bit of a trade back. I mean, that was, don't get me wrong, that was closer. There's a couple of statistics on there, though, I'm not too fond of. One of them being Mr. Cristola.
Turning off his fridge did not help.
He used to put the hamster in the wheel.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, I wonder, there must be some kind of issues with Cristola's internet, honestly, because those aren't the stats we're used to seeing from Cristola. I mean, fair play to Infused. I mean, check out the slaying performance from them. Snaky especially was a player that we were praising a lot throughout the commentary, but Cristola, these are not the kind of stats we're associating with Cristola. So I honestly think that he's having maybe some connection issues. Snipe Drone and Jimbo, the old Epsilon combo, definitely chiming in with slays and standing their ground and trying to put up a fight for Invictus. But wow, I mean, just the 12 kills between Cristola and Ramirez. We spoke about it. The decision making honestly can just be overrun by slaying power and slaying performance, and that's the case this time round. I truly believe if Invictus get a couple more kills, they win that game.
Let's see on Cristola. So check out the damage done. Harry, see if you're up there with everybody else, because then it'll kind of no, a little bit unfortunate. Little bit unfortunate. However, 3-0 is the current scoreline between these two teams. We were hyping this up because we thought it's going to be a bit of a closer one. Oh. But I tell you what, at the moment, it's Team Infused who are really taking it to them. Do you think maybe, just maybe, Invictus underestimated them?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. Invictus, they've been paraded around as like the top dogs in the league, and that almost took the pressure off Infused a little bit, because it's Invictus with the targets on their back. Invictus have the pressure of going into every series knowing that they're expected to be the best team in Europe. They're expected to be the new Fabi. They're expected to be the top dogs in the league, when they haven't even proven that yet. They've taken down Supremacy so far in the league, week 1, and Supremacy were a few small mistakes from, in my opinion, making that series definitely much closer than it was, or potentially even winning it. So yeah, I certainly think Invictus have definitely underestimated Infused so far, but because these are best of 7 sims, these games could go on for a while longer, as long as Invictus take this one.
All right, rock and roll. Let's get this one underway. Tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. Remember, we're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on Mixer. Wherever you are, whoever you are watching out there in the world, thank you so much for tuning in. This, of course, is the European HCS Pro League. We are into our 3rd and final series of the night, and what could potentially be the final map of the night. Infused leading the charge, 3 maps to 0. At the moment, it's Invictus. They need to pull off the reverse sweep, Harry, if they want to clean this series out.
Jim started this game off very well. He's actually on a spree if he makes this kill on Batchford happen, which he does, and there we go. Opening up the game with a camouflage and a killing spree. Fair enough, they don't convert it into a capture, but Jimbo is playing very, very well so far on Truth, and this is scary when you play against a player that starts off this hot. If you don't shut him down very quickly, he can end the game with 30+ kills if the game goes the distance. So,
unfortunately, yeah. Harry, I'm sorry to break you off there. All 3 of his teammates were dead, and for just a second, all 4.
Yeah, and look at who it is. It's Mr. Dirty Work putting in the flag. Snaky team captain, and it's 1-0 Infused. So all the hard work from Jimbo, all the stats, all the good kills, completely wiped out by Team Infused.
More importantly, Stealth Cap comes in, which means that nobody shot him. He just walked that in through the door, and put it on the board. Now, does that speak volumes about what your team's doing to the to the rest of this inside, on the opposing side of them?
Yeah, when you get a stealth capture, it's mostly because your teammates are stopping the enemy team from overextending. When you think about truth capture the flag, the main spawn area you expect them to spawn when you're running the flag is that bubble. So if you have players at top middle, if you have players around that area of the map stopping overextenders, stopping players like Quad's doing right here, pushing into the base while you're trying to capture that flag, the stealth capture definitely speaks volumes. But you can see right there, it's going to be Ramirez actually to put the second flag of the game in. It's going to be all tied up 1-1.
All right then, so it looks like we might actually have a game on our hands. We'll see how this one goes. Just taking a quick look down. A couple of apologies at home if you've had any sound issues as well. We do have a little bit thing going on in the background, but we think it's all resolved now, so apologies if there were any miscommentary or pops in your guys' ears. We're all tied up 1 apiece. 9 minutes, 30 seconds remaining on the clock. And I believe we've just had a player disconnect. And we do know that Chris is having some internet problems. So we will get a manager's decision. Obviously, we can see that it was 1-1 before Chris left the party. We'll bring this back to the casters now, and then we'll get an admin's decision how this one will be playing out. Apologies once again for that. It's completely beyond our control. We do know that Chris obviously having a few little bit of technical difficulties. However, the game will continue, and it will start from 1 apiece.
1-1. Juan. If you're Spanish, subtitles are not available.
Can you speak Spanish?
¿Por qué? But why? That's what that means.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Oh,
anyone with Google Translate?
I thought you were going to go into the meme where it just goes, but why? You actually posted it the other day.
I might have.
I actually saw it in action. But yeah, if you're just joining us, apologies once again, guys. Chris having a few network difficulties. We'll get that sorted and getting back in the game. We will continue on from 1 flag apiece. If you are just joining us, this is the European HCS Pro League. Once again, 6 teams over 5 weeks. This is week number 2, and battling it out in best of 7 series. It's 4 round robin. Teams only get to play each other once, and we're done. At the end of it, the top 4, well, they're going to Atlanta, baby.
You know how many tweets I had after I said about my hair that said, your hair's amazing?
Really?
I've got 3.
Oh,
yeah.
It's trash.
3. What?
It's pretty trash.
Really?
I'm going to teach you how to shave.
I went into the barber and asked for the Richard Sims, so I'm not really surprised.
Mate, he did not give you a Richard Sims.
Yeah, I think it was more Richard Branson than
I'll go with
Richard
that.
Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying that, actually, Branson's he's got more money than me.
He's got more money than me.
He's got more money than most.
True.
Shout out to Richard Branson.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. Where are we going with this? We're just waiting.
Yeah.
We're just waiting like you guys, but we hope you're having fun. Obviously, you can see, we've got another tweet coming in. What have we got? HCS. Man, these games are hype. Love watching me some HCS. Helps me improve as a Halo player and to learn from the pros. Well,
oh, please, I'm not a pro. There's no... the players.
Try beat you to it, because I just know you're self-obsessed, egotistical mind. Would have loved that.
0% ego, 100% skill and game knowledge.
Really?
I guess so. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you've brought me back for 3 seasons so far, so I hope so.
We are
if not,
just,
it's on you guys.
Just a quick update from the floor. Apparently, there is still an ongoing debate in the background. Our admins are looking at the game and speaking with the players to make sure that is confirmed as a 1-1 replay. We'll get you those details just as soon as they pop up. Remember that we do want everything to be as fair as possible for these guys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get that, because at the end of the day, these are, they're our number 1 and number 2 teams, and we want to make sure, even if they want the number 1 and number 2 teams, we want to make sure that all the teams get a same and fair playing field. You can see on your screen, though, guys, I don't know, there's a few, I know that flights are a little bit expensive, but if anyone in Europe wishes to...
Sorry, your pen looked better than mine. Mine ran out of ink as well, so I can actually write.
So what you mean is it doesn't actually work? That's gone. Anyway, go back to DreamHack. Yeah, if any Europeans are going to be coming out, it is a cracking event, honestly. I've heard so many good stories about DreamHack, and now we get the HCS Pro League Finals. They are going to be there. I'm going to be there. Make sure you get your flights booked. Make sure you get out there. We're going to see 4 European teams injected into that championship bracket. The most important thing I think about DreamHack, in the grander scheme of things, obviously it's an open event, and who doesn't love an open event? More importantly, we're going to have live relegation. Your number 7 and number 8 team from the American Pro League are going to drop down. They're going to face off against 2 open teams. Essentially, that open bracket, we could have up to 2 new teams not only joining the champ bracket, but joining the Pro League as well.
Yeah, that pen wasn't out of ink, by the way, so you just threw away a perfectly good pen. But yeah, that's very interesting.
You told me we're out of ink.
I lied.
Does that one work?
My pen.
Anyway, we'll leave him with that one. So all the pens are gone now. We'll get rid of that one as well.
What?
So you can't write down your stats now. You've absolutely got no. So the admins have just confirmed this is a 1-1 replay. Obviously, whoever captures the next 2 flags, the first to do it on this map, will be your victor. The game's about to go underway. We can see the Spartans are loaded into the server. We want to get this one underway. I'm sorry about your pens.
Okay,
you just have to read your phone instead. Get your phone out on stream and you're fired. Anyway, but we're going to get this one underway. The game is just about to go live. Tweet the stream is the hashtag HCS. This, of course, is Team Infused.
Fire me, you won't.
Team Infused.
There's no more casters left in Europe.
Invictus. I'm going to keep talking louder.
I have 100% job security.
It's going to be a good game, brother.
It's going to be great.
Let's finish this one strong. Rock and roll. Let's dive on into the game. Here we go. We are live. And I can see both sets of players. They are now in. So, 1-1 is how we kick this thing off. The first teams capture 2 flags, Harry. They're going to be the victor. Yeah,
so not 3, it's 2, which makes our job a little bit easier because we have to count less. Jimbo actually starting the game off about as good as he started the last one off. 4 down for Infused. The flag already on the move. Jimbo with the new camo and Ramirez with the flag. That's 1-0. That's the perfect start. There is no one overextending for Infused. They have to fight back into their own base so they don't hemorrhage more flag captures. And yeah, great start from Invictus. They got the slays and honestly, Jimbo is still being a thorn in the backside. So yeah, that is a really, really nice start.
That's Kimbo with a double, will at least answer back. We also did see 2 members go down, as you mentioned, from Jimbo, pretty much back-to-back, straight off the respawn with a ground pound as well, so fantastic start from him. That has led to an Invictus capture. Grenades coming in thick and fast. Can he stay alive here? Over in the bubble, yes he does. Almost jukes him out, gets the stick as well, so at least doesn't go down without trading one off. 1, 2, 3 members of Invictus, they're inside the base. They're getting pushed back. Snaky goes one-on-one. He's going to lose that battle to Cristola. Cristola back with a vengeance though, Harry, is Batchford. Well, he's going to take a trip down bottom mid. Unfortunately, will mean that he's going to lose his life as he gets caught out by Chris.
Silly Batchford. You know he has the most deaths, I'm pretty sure, in the Pro League. I could be wrong on that. I really should have checked that stat before I even made it up out of the top of my head. But I know he dies a lot. And a lot of people have been very critical of Batchford making plays like that. But at the moment, it looks like it's not really, you know, cost them too much. Fair enough that both flags are out at the moment, and Cristola is doing a bit of his, well, he's doing his best fragger impression right now. He's just trying to use that flag number as offensively as possible. But yeah, Batchford there caught unawares. I mean, it's not irregular to see a player try and flank bottom middle on Truth right now. Without that radar, you're able to do that without being, you know, basically hammered because you're just appearing on a red dot in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. So yeah, Batchford able to, you know, almost get away with that right there. But as I'm speaking, it's actually, I believe, Infused, who have tied up the game. Brilliant play from them, and this is just the story of the series so far, honestly. These two teams have been back and forth. The switch from Jimbo, that flick was insane.
Unfortunately, his teammate will also fall as he goes down as well. They are getting the return, though. Cristola jumps out bottom mid. Unfortunately, pays with his life. Now we'll see Team Infused coming off the respawn, as Harry mentioned. And as you see on screen, this is a replay. Next cap wins out of both of these teams. Will it be Infused with a hot 4-0, or will, Invictus manage to stay alive and try and force this reverse sweep? There's a lot on the line for both of these teams, not just a win, but a lot of pride also.
So watch for after Invictus get these slays, they don't even get them in time, so they can't even run this flag, so they basically have to get another wave of slays. What I was going to say is watch for Infused, their decision that they make after they go down. If they spawn bubble, do they push round and try and overextend to prevent the capture, or do they fight back into their own base as they really should? 4 down, not a fresh 4 down, because Batchford's just coming off the respawn, and in fact he's able to save the day and prevent that flag run from getting too far. But just watch for both teams' decision makings when they go down off the respawn. Do they fight back into their own base and give up the capture, or do they try and make a play happen? And right now the flag is on the move here from Invictus. 3 players back in the base, and that's going to be 2-1. Yeah, there we go.
So Invictus, they're going to answer back, and I believe that's going to be game. And yes, it is Invictus. They will put a series on the board.
Completely forgot.
I thought I'll just leave you to it.
I had no idea.
Don't make me look like an idiot anymore.
We said...
See, I don't call people out for
countless.
Careful.
I almost dropped
that
the controller. I'm a mess right now.
They took that from his salaries.
I said I have 100% job security. I'm pushing.
I'll tell you what else you said.
Pushing that to the
Jimbo.
limit. Yeah.
You mentioned about his slaying prowess, and in that game, boy, did it show.
Yeah, he started the game off very, very well. We saw obviously the GPK ground pound come in, and 12 and 6, positive 6 from him. Checking out the damage as well. He's up there with Snipe Drone, being the main damage dealer from Invictus, but. Yeah, that was a quick one, honestly. And now Invictus back in this series. Can they make the reverse sweep happen?
We've seen it happen before. It's happened, and honestly, I'd be surprised. You know, sorry, excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened this time, because both of these teams have the capabilities and they have the abilities. Clearly, you know, they've not been playing the best, and maybe it was just the crack in the armor, I want to say.
Yep.
They found Infused his weak spot. Now they can kind of pry it open a little bit more and push forward. And the players, they are getting these games underway because they want to crack on as much as what we do. And we'll see how this one pans out. We're moving into our next game type. Can Infused secure the W? Can they take the win? I'll tell you what. It's Invictus. They've got to get through first. Invictus are looking for this back-to-back-to-back win to cause the reverse sweep. Palazzo Team Slayer will be your next matchup on screen. Remember, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. Big shout out to Astro Gaming. Also, remember, they are powering the Pro League, both over here in Europe and over the pond in North America. So far, been a fantastic series. Certainly not one that I expected to be seeing. A very scrappy game type. You know, you look at the score, Harry, 2-3 was a big loss for Infused. They didn't go down without a fight. Can we be seeing the same again?
This goes without saying is a big game type for Invictus to win, because obviously they need to complete the reverse sweep, obviously to contribute towards the reverse sweep, I should say. But if they win this one, they force a Game 6 Eden Strongholds, which is one of their strongest game types. It's one of their highest win percentage maps throughout scrims online. So if they win this game type, more than likely they're going to be forcing that Game 7, and that gives them the opportunity to finally complete the reverse sweep. And Ramirez starting this one off very strong.
Just casually feeding Kimbo a nice perfect kill. The sniper rifle's going to be there. Quadius, I think Quadius were flashing when he matched up against him, so... In fact, he wasn't. He was flashing, but unfortunately it was for all the wrong reasons. He had an OS on his back, gets the snapshot, easy kill, catches a second player at pipes. It's going to be Cristola, gets a bullet to the back of the head. Down he goes. Jimbo's going to drop down to S1 as well, so he's got to be careful, but it's going to be an easy cleanup on Kimbo there. Was caught with his pants down a little bit with no shield. Quad using that Spartan charge, get round the corner and get away with his sniper rifle. I like the angle, Harry. Yeah,
the beauty of the player outlines is we can see the decision making behind Quad's rotations, right? You see the blue player outlines. Quad wants to stay away from them, keep them at a distance, keep them at arm's length, so we can continue using this sniper at range. That's why I love leaving the player outlines on a lot. Is you can just kind of sense where the player is being pressured from, right? You can see where they anticipate pressure, and you can see, look at that sneaky play from Quad. He's going to get out with his life. They're still chasing him around Tram, and he's already got out of dodge. That's really nice play from Quad.
I like how he just kind of held back. You kind of mentioned about the sneaky... Oh, unfortunately, he will die, but they knew exactly, pretty much a rough guesstimate where he was. Down he went. But look at that scoreline. It's Invictus. Fair enough. They had the sniper rifle and he was staying alive, but while he's been staying alive, unfortunately, his teammates, they have been dead a fair few times. 13-6, 10-20 remaining on the clock. Ramirez forcing back. Going to be running through Cafe, just anchoring this area, getting the call-outs on people. And you can tell he's been listening to his teammates. Finds the easy one-shot. That's an easy kill for him. He will get taken down and cleaned up by Quadius, though, down here in Hotel. Quadius also answered back by Jimbo. So the teamwork, Harry, the call-outs, the communication at the moment, it's looking good for Invictus.
It's looking really good for Invictus. Look at the score. They're plus 11 in slays, and the overshield is coming up soon. They got those slays just in time for the overshield, and there you go. Jimbo's rewarded with it. So Infused, they grabbed the first one. They can't grab the second one. It's going to be Invictus with a fresh 4 down. And Big Daddy Jim lets him know. Give him the bag, boy. 22-7.
He needs to be careful because they're not out of the woods yet. He's still got another 2 series to win it. 3 including this one. His teammate does drop. Snipe Drone grabs 2 as well. Can that be the 4th player? Yes, it can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Infused, they are dead. They're now going to be running off of the respawn down here on the U-bend. Grenade goes down, looking for some hit markers, trying to grab himself some information. Jim's on the aggression though. He's got the light rifle in hand, going to push in. Grenade goes down. Kimbo's going to be all tagged up. Killing spree now. Jimmy smells blood, and he also smells a reverse sweep in the works. Another player goes down from Cristola, 29-10. What an absolute night and day scoreline, Harry.
This is a mauling. This really is a mauling. 30-11. And Infused, they're going to start asking questions about themselves. And I said, if this Eden Stronghold Game 6, which is coming up, if Invictus can close out this game, which it most certainly looks like they can, is one of Invictus's strongest game types. So yeah, Infused, they're going to have to make a big play on the next map to try and break the momentum, because if they let Invictus win it, they're all tied up 3-3 going into a Game 7 Rig Slayer where Invictus have won the last 3 game types. And right now, Bashford, any of the players with the snipe on the side of Infused, they just never get the time to play with it because players like Jimbo are just shutting him down instantly. Look at this scoreline. It's commanding, and Invictus look like a completely different team from the first 3 games in this series.
If you are a Jimbo sub, make sure you drop some of his emotes now in the chat. He's got some lovely little faces. Get his little face in the chat. Send him your energy because
right now his sniping's terrible, so he needs your energy.
But honestly, you know, we keep saying this reverse sweep kind of looks real, and you look at the scoreline, 35-17. It's a different Invictus, but there's still a lot of work. It's not going to be just a simple, oh, they're playing well this game, so they're going to win the rest of this. There's an awful lot of work to do. It's a big hill. It's a mountain to climb. Kimbo running through Cafe, trying to give his teammates some support. They've got to be careful, though. They're going to run straight into the arms of 3 players over on Invictus.
Yeah, Quadios has the sniper, though, for Infused, so right now it looks like Infused are doing to Invictus what Invictus were doing to them, trapping them in key areas and slaying them out. This is worrying. Comeback time, baby. Yeah, you might have jinxed it, GBR Breakdown, because right now Infused, they are down by actually 13. Okay, never mind. I might have jinxed it, my bad. But Quad does still have the snipe, and honestly, all it takes is another wave of slays from Invictus to be within touching distance. They're down by 8, which is a lot better than where they were. They were down by around 20 earlier on in this game. So they're definitely clawing this one back. The question is it too little, too late?
Believe. Believe, Harry. I most certainly do.
I don't believe.
Well, either way, what happens is either going to be a fantastic series all out. I mean, we kind of said before, we didn't want to see a 4-0. We didn't expect a 4-0, and that's not what we're going to have at the end of this series. I mean, credit where credit's due. Infused, they're starting to bring this one back. There's a lot of kills ahead, and they've got a massive deficit, which is a big advantage on the side of Invictus. Kind of gives them, as you mentioned, that breathing room, that buffer when it comes to kills, so they can afford to lose a few here and there. But they don't want to lose too many, because Invictus, they'll snap up that opportunity to bring this one back.
And they will slowly kind of claw themselves towards that 50 kill mark, which is only 11 points away. But every single time in the kill feed, it's first kill going in favor of Infused, and they honestly springboard off of that. But Snipe Drone has been such a killjoy, honestly, to the Infused comeback, because he's gotten double after double, and he's just picked himself up a new overshield. So Quad's got to watch his back right here, because Snipe Drone is a man who can smell a sniper from a mile away, and he's got himself an overshield as well. So Quad is going to have a massive target on his back as soon as Snipe Drone hears he's got a sniper in his hands.
Batchford just managing to stay alive for all but a moment, hiding down there in the corner, 43-32. He knew he was going to get hunted down by the beast that is Snipe Drone. OS on his back, as Harry mentioned. Going to run over here to Yard. as he dodges the oncoming plasma pistol. That's going to be in the hands of Snaky. 2 players, though, pinch him in. Down he goes. Easy trade-off there. 1 player in the form of Kimbo going to get pushed back onto Pipes. And he goes around the corner. He's met with 2 members of Team Infused. They only need 6 more kills to make this comeback a potential reality.
Yeah, both snipers were in the hands of Infused. As Quad goes down, it's down to just 1 with Kimbo. And Kimbo, is he willing to peek? He's not even willing to peek Snipe Drone. That's because he's got some help right there. Cristola versus Quad is not going to work out in Chris's favor. So, yeah, I think the comeback from Infused is going to give them confidence going into the next game type. But the answer to the question asked earlier on, is it too little too late? Yes, I certainly think so. I think this game is probably over as Invictus just kind of roll towards that 50 kill mark.
They only just need to trade it off, don't they? If they really give a kill away whatsoever, run in, hopefully get a kill, tag them up, and then run back out. They only need to do it 3 more times. Push, 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 because you can't lose. There's 48. Oh, fair enough, you get a nice kill for style points. 1, 2. Please do it. Oh, he does. He lands on Rami's head. Oh, well, that's a nice kill. 1 more, and it's going to be GG. A Snipe Drone will take down Snake E. 50-41. We've got a game. We've got a series.
Yeah, I don't want to call it prematurely, but Game 7 is a very real possibility because this next game type is one of Invictus's favorites, and they're really good at it.
They're really good at it.
Yeah, top tier analysis. I told you, 100% job security. 17 kills from Snipe Drone. Just the 8 deaths as well. We saw his point of view towards the end of the game. He was doing really well, just being a killjoy, like I said. Countless times in the kill feed, I saw doubles from Snipe Drone, and that was basically propping up his team and helping his team out when they were down and out in that game. I want to give a massive shout out to Quad as well. We saw him with a sniper a lot in the game. We saw him hit some very nice shots, but they don't win the game.
How often do you see Kimbo going 8 and 16? That's rough. In a Slayer as well?
He has a Smurf called German Connection, okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I wonder whether or not the German Connection is okay.
Well, we'll find out. Batchford also, the Highland Connection they're looking to, goes 7 and 14 for him. So 2 of our big hitters, you know, when we look and talk about slaying on this side of Team Infused, not living up to the standard of what they usually produce. But rolling in, as you mentioned, game number 6, Harry. Talk us through game number 6, what it is and how this one plays out.
So Eden Strongholds. Every 2 minutes, Overshield and Rockets. The Rockets will come up first, okay?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay. So the Rockets come up first over at Turbine. You want to pick up the Rockets and go over towards the Overshield and just watch over the Overshield, right? An enemy team member comes along, boop, rocket on his face. Then you drop down, pick up the Rockets, pick up the Overshield. It's not just that simple, right? There's a lot more intricate plays that go into making that whole series of plays possible, but that's what we're looking for in this game type. The intricate plays come around forcing the enemy team to spawn over at blue platform away from the turbine, as well as spawning them mainly at tower, because if you're at tower, you're the furthest point possible away from those 2 power-ups and power weapons, right? You want to keep them as far away from the rockets and keep them as far away from the overshield as possible. Key note in this one, at the start of the game, blue team are not favored to grab the overshield. In this particular instance, Infused are on the red side, so they will be favored to grab the overshield first off. It's about whether or not Invictus can make plays with their nades coming from the blue side and basically melt and prevent the player that's flying for the overshield or contesting the overshield. If they can take that player down and then snatch that away, that's going to be a storyline to watch going into Eden Strongholds, because more often than not, you're going to see the red team grab the overshield.
Looks like the players have just changed colour, so we will be getting this one underway in just a second. There you have it. We are indeed starting dedicated server.
Let's go.
This is going to be it. Can Infused seal the deal? Can Infused finish this one off and bag themselves that #1 spot so far in Europe? Or we'll be seeing Game 7. I honestly think, and I usually say this, and surprisingly I'm right, if we get to Rig Slayer, I think Invictus will take it. I really do.
Well, the momentum would definitely be in their favour.
100%. That's a proper go saying that. 100%.
Well, 100%.
100%.
Something at Penn State. Did he go to Penn State?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I remember him talking about it quite a lot, but most of the time I just tune out. But Strongholds on Eden.
Rough.
Red team favoured to grab the overshield. Don't forget about the camouflage as well. We didn't really speak about that. The camouflage over at the tower needs to be contested as well, but you can see Batchford, again, straight lining the overshield. This is what we're talking about. Red team, more often than not, are going to grab that power up. It was Kimbo to grab the camouflage, but he's just been taken down. When you grab the overshield, you're pretty much guaranteed the rockets off the start. It's almost like a flip later on in the game. So, looks like we've got a player just dropped. That's Chris once again.
We do apologise. Chris, unfortunately, this is the issue that Chris has. He has a very, very weak connection, which has a tendency to drop off. Obviously, it's completely beyond our control. Hello? It's completely beyond...
1 gigola. Have you not heard the meme?
No?
1 gigola.
Is that what he gets? You having a giggle, mate?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? But yeah, we obviously do know he sometimes doesn't have the most stablest of connections and has a tendency to drop out of games, which is exactly what has happened. So we'll get this one set back up again, and we'll get this one underway.
I would love to see some percentages on Eden Strongholds based on what we've seen in the Pro League. I honestly might even go back and do it once the season's over, of the percentage of red team overshield grabs off the start. Because it seems like almost every time in matchmaking, almost every single time in online scrims, unless blue team makes a play to kill the player from red team flying for that overshield, it's almost like red team is gifted that power up off the start. And if that's the case, that really shouldn't be a thing. You know, like that one team should not have an advantage on a power up at the start of a map. Halo is about balance and about, you know, both teams having an equal opportunity to grab the power up. They may be equidistant from the overshield, but it might just be that the red team's route has more cover, or the blue team genuinely might spawn further away, which I think they do, because they spawn up at blue plat in blue alley. They're further away from that overshield. So something that might need to be tweaked going forwards, because most of the time it's red team grabbing the overshield off the start, and that's, you know, almost an unfair advantage. But what do I know? Nothing.
Well, no, I see your point. I understand where you're coming from. It's a good angle to view. I suppose there are other avenues there you can say to kind of how you're going to try and stop them from doing that, and I suppose that's where the HCS team will take all that feedback and stuff into account, and they made the tweaks like we've seen out throughout. I mean, how much of these maps changed in these settings since we started casting Pro League?
Think about Truth. We had a Fuel Rod on that map.
Sword.
We had Saw on Empire.
There's been all sorts. There's been so many changes, and I suppose that comes back to feedback. And if you got any feedback, Tashi, Strong Side, Ghosty Army, they're all out there. All the guys are out there, and you know they're all listening. Quinn, they're all take the feedback, and we've been getting these settings, and they've been moving through, and we can still keep seeing updates and such. And I've seen them saying there are still more updates to come. So far, I think we're in a really solid place. Obviously, these changes with the radar, with the no automatics, no splinter nades. These settings are the strongest they've been. They're the most competitive they've been, honestly. I'm just looking forward to can only ways up. Obviously, these different changes that we get, and as Harry mentioned, maybe with this OS one, this could be another change that we see in the seasons.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I mean, I could be completely wrong, right? I don't know how the players feel about it. I honestly might start asking them, but these are very minute tweaks that we're talking about.
Thing is, though, we're there now.
Yeah.
Now the head of it's kind of been done. What we've, you've got. We don't have these automatics. We don't have these splinters. The main change has come.
The big problem, it's gone.
That's it was all different things and stuff. But once we've got these settings now, and as you mentioned, these are all little minor things. One change that I do like, which it kind of goes under the radar a little bit, is the rockets on Colosseum.
Yeah.
Obviously we've got the spankers in now compared to the Halo 5 ones. They're definitely a lot more forgiving. Because the amount of time the team would quite literally steamroll when you got the H5 rockets, now you can fight back. I feel like you really can fight back against them. When a team used to pick up those H5 rockets and have snipe control as well, it used to be just a bit of a mess.
Almost like it's game over.
Yeah.
Like before it's even started.
You were gifting it, and it's like, oh, great, how do we deal with this now? Because the power of those H5 rockets, they look nice and they feel nice, but they're very strong.
Yeah.
The blast radius is pretty lit.
Too lit. And also the projectile speed as well was very unforgiving on the other team.
Yeah.
Even if you thrust it away, you were still getting hit by that splash damage, and the rocket was just coming at you a million miles an hour, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty much out of the way. But like we're talking about, these are all minute changes that need to be made, right? Just maybe moving that overshield to a more of a contestable position on the map on Eden, maybe even in bottom middle, equidistant from both team spawns could work out, or maybe even having...
I like that word.
Equidistant.
Did you make it up?
No, it's a real word.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, equidistant means same distance.
Monumentus.
Monumentus was a word I made up. Still waiting for players to get in the lobby, but maybe even moving... Oh, I don't know. Honestly, like we said, this is something the HCS team will look at more in depth, but maybe even moving the overshield over to the tower and swapping the overshield and camo, because, you know...
Do you know what I'd like to see one day? Dual sniper map.
Yeah.
It's quite hard, obviously, with Halo 5's mechanics and, you know, how fast you can move in this game and how deadly that sniper can be. If you had two of them on one team, I can see what, you know, it'd just be a mess.
Oh, well, I mean, we saw it in the last game. Plaza, we saw two snipes on Infused side, like, multiple times. Yeah, my question is what kind of map you would find a two-snipe map?
It'd have to be new. It'd have to be hand-built for two. It'd have to be extremely long.
Yep.
You know, I'm thinking back to Narrow's days of Halo 3. When you think back to how long that thing was...
You said extremely long. No, go on. Narrows.
Narrows, Halo 3.
Yep.
Like, you can't have that kind of... You won't get away with that map in today's kind of archaeology. But you do need something big. It's got to be massive.
Yeah, massive and incredibly long.
Stop it. Stop it. Professional man. But we are just waiting for an admin decision. Apparently something went wrong in the previous game, so they are checking this one out. If it takes much longer, we are going to go to a very, very, very short break. For now, you just keep listening to our wonderful voices.
Two old friends.
We are friends.
Flapping our gums. I miss Dan.
We want to...
No offense.
Oh, thanks.
I mean some
appreciate it. You crap. Cheers.
Nah. 100% job security.
Believe me, I'm the same, mate.
Really?
Well, I lose a caster and I get an observer.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Wow.
My bad.
Did that cut you deep? You're good at your job. Don't sell yourself low. Okay. You're pretty decent.
You said it.
I meant it as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, the break is ready. There is an admin discussion going on in the background that we don't have the information on. So rather than watching us and staring at a blank screen, give us a couple of minutes, guys, and we'll be right back.
Double. From the hip, in the step. That's a double.
Protect our carrier.
Black cap. That's a double. From the hip. And that's a triple. From the hip, in the stack.
Find our flag. Spotted the enemy flag carrier.
Color guard. That's a double.
Return our flag. Return our flag.
And that's a triple. We got 1 minute left. Perfect kill. Damn, you're good. Oh, that's a clean sweep. Perfect kill.
The enemy flag has been returned. Sniper rifle in 10 seconds. Our flag's been taken.
From the hip, in the stack. Quick off the block. From the hip, in the stack.
Our flag's been taken.
That's a double. And that's a triple.
Defend our carrier.
Perfect kill. Damn, you're good.
Flags back at base. Defend our carrier.
From the hip, in the sky. You're on a roll.
Defend our carrier. Go. Defend our carrier. Defend our carrier.
That's a double.
Protect our carrier.
And that's a triple. From the hip, in the step. Damn, you're good. That's the match. Victory.
You have made it this far. Like me, you came up through the ranks, through hard work and sheer determination. What you are transitioning into is unlike anything you have ever experienced before. We are sending you where other soldiers dare not tread. You will win. You will defeat the enemy. You will return, and you will do it all again tomorrow. Now, you are Spartans. Welcome to Fire Team Apollo.
We're super excited about Colony. It's the next DLC leader in Halo Wars 2.
We wanted to get back to the Banished as soon as we could, and Colony is an amazing addition to the roster. Everybody loves Hunters.
They've never been in charge. They've never had a personality. They've always been completely alien threat from the Covenant. But now we've got a Hunter calling the shots, and it's cooking up some pretty interesting fun for Halo Wars 2.
One of the most exciting new units that we have with Colony are the Skitterers. Each Skitterer is a Legolo-powered turret with legs.
In a way, mini scarabs, but in large numbers and with the right tactics, can be sometimes just as deadly.
But their real power comes in actually attaching to other units. And depending on the size of that unit,
Look back on this season, Mark, it's been another dominant season for Fab Esports.
This is where they are the top dogs, so it's up to them now to prove that once again and come in and just destroy everyone, essentially.
Here we go, game number 1 of full season finals. Let's hear some noise in the crowd and let's get down to business as the total control comes into effect for Fab. And could this be a very quick game? Pulse at the moment just can't keep up with the speed of Fab. Fab Esports are going to take game 1. And this is the commanding victory that I think everybody was expecting them to do. They have such control that they can pretty much do anything they want right now. Move. So even though several members of his team were down, as Jimbo picks up the double, looks for the triple, hits it onto Punisher, and that'll be game. Fab going 3-0 up in the series.
He needed to win the fight, but Jimbo lands the perfect 2 in a row for Jimbo, actually. And that's going to be GG. Fabi, take down Pulse.
Alrighty, once again, make some noise. Team Infused and Vive! Match number 2.
Bachi going in left, right and centre. The comeback is real, ladies and gentlemen. He's just stayed alive for so long, Andy. This team excels at midship. This will be a big kill if he can get it, which he does. Killing Frenzy, the hand goes up in the air.
And my goodness, Infused has got to feel good about that comeback win there.
That is what we like to see.
Infused could certainly be bringing this in. Take a look at this. He's going to bring this in. He has plenty of help here. Yes, indeed. Team Infused will win the series.
What a difference. Pretty much an entire season of Pro League makes.
We are getting to game number 1. Truth captured the flag. Fab E versus Team Infused, the hot hand of Team Infused. This is just looking very, very horrible here for Team Infused. They are just falling one by one. The triple cap is in effect as well. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make anything happen.
It's going to be Mose with the camo as well.
Oh my God, Mose! And Mose just picked up the dirtiest of overkills with that railgun shot. That is the 3rd overkill we've seen today.
3-1 in the game, 4-0 in the series. Fabi still undefeated as they'll head to the finals.
Versus Vibe taking on Pulse Gaming in the loser bracket. How evenly matched these two rosters are. They're going to probably try and clean this one up. He's in a... Oh, that's a massive kill. Turn around if he does it, which he does. Spins around on a pinhead. Snipe drone's on the top. We got no shields down here in grass. And they get it out. Team Vibe are going home. Pulse Gaming advance to loser bracket grand finals.
In the lower bracket, Pulse versus Infused.
This is an incredible comeback for Infused. That'll be game one going to them.
Word.
3, 2, 1. Pulse put one on the board in the series. Now they're only 2-1 down.
Down significantly now. Oh my gosh!
That is disgusting from Kimbo. Gets the triple. Infused are going to the grand finals to have a rematch against Fab E.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's game time, baby. Grand finals for the fall season finals.
This is going to be a most epic grand final.
Fab Esports taking on Team Infused. A lot of money, a lot of pride, and a nice big shiny trophy.
This is the impossible task that Infused have in front of them. They are facing Fab Esports, who are just on fire right now. Total control, 51 points in the bag, and this is the worst start Infused really could have had.
And wow, this is just relentless, Sims.
This is a nightmare. My word, that, if you want to set a precedence and start a game off and really make a statement, that is how you do it, my friends. So here's the man who we've not spent much time with, Jimbo, getting naded up in the Eli. Will find Fox, goes for another TPK!
There is a reason.
Down.
As this final flag should go in, they are going to toss it but in between each other, and it is going to be put in a few shots.
This is looking dangerous. The time's ticking down. But you know what? There's a very small hole. This is dangerous grounds. We'll be looking for one player. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Most respectful to Foxy and Jimbo are your EU HCS Fall Season Champions.
And without dropping a map, may I add. That is just monumentous.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Apologies for the delay. Now we have had an administrator's ruling, and that final map will be going in the way of Team Infused. As per the rulebook, it's down to the players to keep control of their connection, and at the end of the day provide themselves a stable connection, and unfortunately that has been ruled against. So Team Infused, they will bag the victory and they will come out on top 4-2 versus Invictus by default. Now, we talk about what kind of implications that's going to have on the standings then. Obviously, they were playing out of their minds at the end of the day. Both teams, it could have swung either way. That's how the ruling is, and unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. It is what it is. We have to move on from it.
It's an unfortunate situation.
It really is.
All we can talk about really is the result and how that could impact the league standings come the end of the season, because a lot of people thinking that Invictus were probably one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in Europe. They currently dropped down to 1-1, which doesn't even place them in the top 2 right now. Infused, they maintain their 100% start to the season alongside the lads. And Infused, they're on top of the heap right now with a superior map win percentage. That's, I mean, who would have saw that coming at the end of the day? I personally had Invictus winning this series, but Infused, they've come out and they've shocked the world.
Incredible stuff. And honestly, when we look at that, and we kind of spoke about before, you know, how taking maps are important. You know, Team Infused, they're at the top. And when we look at that 3rd and 4th spot, Invictus, they're above Supremacy.
What's very interesting about that is the fact that Supremacy have already played Invictus. So their one loss has come to Invictus. If they were to snatch the game off of Infused, then potentially they could even end the series, end the season on the same kind of record as Invictus, and it would come down to that map win percentage. So yeah, very interesting season to come.
That's insane. Well, unfortunately, that is what it is, and that's the standings. We go by the rulebook. We make every decision fair in the background. We do have a very, very fair set of people in the back. They've discussed it. They've sat down to talk. Obviously, it's a big call to make, so, you know, shout out to those guys for getting together. It's the right call. It is what it is. And we move on into week number 3. We're going to pretty much sign it off here from the desk. Once again, thank you so much for bearing with us tonight through those final issues. If you do want to catch all the VOD cut up nice and clean for you guys, it will be on YouTube, youtube.com/ESL Halo. And those VODs, they will also link back to our Pro League website, which is proleague.com/Halo. Go on there, all the games have been married down to all the charts, all the maps, everything else you want to know, all the information. Anything you guys want to know about, not on the Pro League, but the Pro League finals at DreamHack, it's all going to be up there. There'll be an FAQ release very soon, but for now, tickets.dreamhack.com. If you want to be there, if you want to watch it, if you want to compete, that's where you need to be. And obviously get your tickets there for DreamHack Atlanta. Speaking of DreamHack Atlanta, obviously there are only 4 teams that can go to Atlanta from Europe. Let's take a look how those teams will be playing next week in the European HCS Pro League. Harry, game 1. Look at that.
Yeah, that is a juicy matchup because the lads currently 2-0 in the league. They have a better record than Invictus. If Invictus win that, obviously they would be tied in the league, but that's a great match to start things off. And then Infused Supremacy. That, what we were just speaking about, Supremacy, if they take that game off Infused, then all of a sudden, if Invictus beat the lads, then you've got 4 teams at the top of the league, all on 2-1 records, and then XL versus Divine Domination. A must-win for both teams if they want to make it to DreamHack Atlanta. So next week, the matchups, I keep using the word juicy, but they're juicy.
So the one thing, just before we do sign this one off completely, that we need to touch on, Harry.
Yes.
After the show's ended in a very few short hours.
You know what that was? A whirlwind.
A whirlwind.
Of team changes, potentially.
European roster lock will open. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 6 days. These guys have got 6 days. They can make one change, and only one. And there are vicious rumours down the grapevine, and I'm very intrigued to see where we're sitting next week, because honestly, there could be quite some team changes. Literally everyone can potentially make a team change, but who knows? We personally like to see stability not only in rosters but European. In Halo as a whole, there's always a lot of team changes. People try and chase the people at the top. Obviously this time around in Europe, there aren't necessarily no people at the top. Last time it was FabE slapping everybody around. They're not here. Anything can potentially happen, and honestly, best luck to every player out there. We do have a player like Septic, for instance, who's a free agent. Never did I think Septic would be a free agent. Could he come back? Could he cause some problems? Time will tell.
I have a question. What are you going to do for a caster when a team picks me up for the Pro League? Because I am available as a free agent. I can grind. This has been...
What am I going to do personally? I'll shake the team's hand for getting rid of you and getting you off this desk.
If you want a handshake from Sims, pick me up.
You know what?
I'm ready. I'm pro ready.
Come on. I don't want a pink shirt. I want a pro. There we go. It's always a pleasure casting with you, Harry.
Be gentle.
You won't even get off with
I
it.
know.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure, dude. Yeah, that's pretty much it from us. We're going to be signing off now. Remember, check out Astro. These guys have been supporting Halo for a long time now. They're supporting the European Pro League and the North American Pro League. We've got a link there for esl.pm/Astro. They've got some goodies. Go on there, check them out. Check out the awesome gear, awesome equipment. I've got plenty of pairs at home. He now owns a pair. They've got some HCS speaker tags as well, specifically for Halo Esports. Get them stuck on. Support your boys, support your scene, support your sport. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Shout out to all the communities out there. Team Beyond, I've recently posted on NeoGaf, Reddit, Waypoint, all the YouTubers, all the Twitch streamers, all the API, stat guys, anyone, anything. People like Moses who just support Halo in general. If you're doing something out there for your scene and supporting it, thank you very much. You guys are the reason we're here to do this job. It's been an absolute pleasure. See you for week number 3.